What's happening, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. And the World Cup is finally here. It kicks off tomorrow with hosts Qatar taking on Ecuador in a heavyweight clash. And in today's video, I'm going to be running through my World Cup predictions. But before I get to those predictions, guys, just a little bit of housekeeping for the channel. Please make sure you smash the likes on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. We are very, very close now to 2,000 subscribers. So every subscriber helps. So please do smash that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And please do leave your thoughts in the comments below with your own predictions, thoughts on my predictions, and any thoughts on content that you would like to see during the World Cup. But yeah, let's just get straight into it with these predictions. All right. So I'm just going to bring up the bracket on screen. And I'm just going to get straight into it, people. So Group A all kicks off tomorrow. Hosts Qatar, as I said, taking on Ecuador. And they're joined by the Netherlands and Senegal in this group. For me, I think it's kind of clear that, the Netherlands are the standout team in this group, having missed out last time out in Russia, but in previous World Cups, the previous two, 2010, lost in the final to Spain narrowly. 2014 ended up coming third. As I said, missed out in 18. They're kind of back in the mix a little bit now. Louis van Gaal back at the helm, and a very experienced manager. And they've got a good crop of players. Really good defensively with the likes of Van Dijk, De Ligt, De Vrij, Timbers, Dumfries and whatnot. Good quality in midfield. Kenneth Taylor at Ajax is a great player, along with obviously Frankie de Jong. The only issue I'd probably say is the lack of a forward. Other than Memphis Depay, they're looking at the likes of Vincent Janssen, who we all remember from that disastrous spell at Tottenham. But the Netherlands have got more than enough for sure to get out of this group, and I think they should be comfortably finishing top. In terms of the runners-up spot, it's going to be between Senegal and Ecuador. But yeah, I personally feel that it's going to just about be Senegal. I know they're missing Sadio Mane, but at the same time, they've still got more than enough quality. Edouard Mendy and Kalidou Koulibaly, two Chelsea representatives in there. Good players. Obviously, Ismail Assar, the Watford forward, is exciting. And in midfield as well, they've got Idrissa Gueye and Cheick Kouyaté also. So yeah, there's still plenty of pedigree there. And Senegal are by no means just a Sadio Mane show. As big a blow as it is, and as disappointing as it is to not be able to see him on the big stage, I think Senegal will just about finish runners up over Ecuador, who have had a very good campaign to qualify for this. Not many people expected them to qualify. Obviously, it was marred in the build-up by Chile appealing them against Ecuador for fielding an eligible player. That subsequently went to CAS. And Ecuador didn't get thrown out of the tournament, but they start the next qualification process with a 3-point deduction. In terms of host Qatar, I think they'll do better than people think they will, but ultimately I still have them coming bottom. Yes, they did win the 2019 Asia Cup, but I think there's just a lack of quality in that side. Yes, home support will help them, and they might spring a surprise or two, but yeah, I can't see them progressing from this group, and I've got them as bringing up the rear at the bottom of Group A. Moving on to Group B then. This is the only group in the tournament where all four teams are ranked inside the world's top 20. And you would expect England to comfortably win this group, but I think this group will be a lot closer than people think. England have got previous experience of playing the US and Wales in major tournaments. Obviously, the Rob Green howler against the US back in 2010 World Cup. And then, England played Wales in the 2016 Euros. And that was a lot closer than people thought as well. I think a last-minute winner from Daniel Sturridge getting us a 2-1 win in that game. So, yeah, look, I still think England will come top. It's going to be a lot closer than people think. I think it could be a similar group stage to the Euros where we don't play the best football, we don't score a lot of goals. And these three teams they're gonna sit deep. They're going to invite England to try and break them down. And England aren't kind of the most forward-thinking, the kind of team that plays on the front foot. Despite the quality of attacking players we've got, yeah, it's gonna. I think England could struggle in this group in terms of breaking sides down. But I still have them. I still have them in the top spot. But the impetus is going to be on Gareth Southgate to play far more on the front foot than he usually does. In terms of the runners-up spot, I think the US will probably just get that. Although it's a lot. I think they've got an exciting crop of players. Obviously, Christian Pulisic. They've got the Leeds boys, Brendan Harrison, Tyler Adams. Obviously, Gio Reyna is exciting at Dortmund, as is Timothy Weir at Lille. So they've got a good crop coming through, and this will be like kind of the stepping stone for them to kind of in 4 years' time when they host a tournament jointly with Mexico and Canada to kind of really get a team together. I still think they'll just about come second in this group. I'm putting Iran third with Wales fourth. I just think Wales lack quality. I know there's a kind of a togetherness around the camp when they get into these major tournaments, and that does spur them on and kind of makes up for a lack of quality. But I think people are sleeping on Iran. They're a much better side than I think a lot of people give them credit for. So, I think Iran third, Wales fourth. Moving on to Group C, this is clearly Argentina in the top spot. I don't see any issues there. Far too much quality for anyone else in this group. In terms of the runners-up spot, it's real tough between Mexico and Poland. Mexico got good pedigree, but I don't know. I just fancy the Poles in this one. I think Lewandowski is finally going to score a World Cup goal in a Poland shirt. They got good players like Zielinski, obviously Matty Cash, newly representing Poland. They've got obviously Wojciech Szczesny and Fabianski as goalkeepers. There's some good players in the Polish side, and obviously when you spearheaded by Lewandowski, you've always got a chance. So I'm going Poland just second, closely followed by Mexico, with the Saudis bringing up the rear in that group. Let's move on to Group D then. We've got defending champions France and many people's dark horses Denmark. They've also got Tunisia and Australia during. I still think the French, despite their injuries, obviously losing Nkunku just before the tournament starts, no Pogba, no Kante, but they've got the likes of Tchouameni, Camavinga to step in, and they've still got Benzema, Mbappe, Griezmann, Giroud. They're not exactly lacking real quality at all. And I think whilst they may not go all the way again, I still feel that they've got more than enough to top this group just from the Danes, who had a very good Euros last time out, making the semi-finals. And I think they'll be a very good team again. But I think I personally think France are coming top, but I wouldn't completely rule out Denmark coming second. And in terms of third and fourth, it really is a toss-up. Both teams, Tunisia and Australia, are lacking quality. I'm going to go Tunisia third, Australia fourth, but that really could be a toss-up. Moving into Group E, then this is a big one. Spain and Germany, two heavyweights. Two winners of the last 4 World Cups in there. Spain back in 2010, Germany back in 2014. I think the Germans are in slightly better shape than the Spanish are. I think in Hansi Flick, they've got a great manager, and there's a real good blend of youth and experience, loads of quality as well, particularly in the attacking areas. The likes of not Timo Werner, he's missing from the tournament, but the likes of Serge Gnabry, Leroy Sané, they got the young forward Yusuf Moukoko, and also in midfield the likes of Joshua Kimmich as well. So I think they've got more than enough to come top, and I think just for me, I put them over Spain, just a bit more quality, bit more experience. I think the Spanish, very young side, not too much quality at the top end of the pitch. Alvaro Morata will probably lead the line. Flanked by the likes of Ferran Torres, Ansu Fati can provide quality, but I just think the Spanish perhaps a little bit inexperienced, even though they came within a whisker of actually making the European Championships finals back last summer. So, yeah, I'm going to go just Germany from Spain, with Japan third and Costa Rica fourth. But I think Japan, could potentially run Spain close, maybe. Moving into Group F then. Group F up next. We've got Belgium, Croatia, Canada, and Morocco. This, I think, is a very open group. I've got the Croatians topping this group. I think they're a very good tournament side. They've got some real quality in there. Yes, I say perhaps at the centre forward position could be an issue, but they've got some great young defenders, the likes of Gvardiol. The midfield stacked: Kovacic, Brozovic, Modric as well, still balling. I've got them just top over the Belgians, who I think have kind of missed the boat of their golden generation. I think that ship sailed, and I just think defensively they're too weak. And with no Lukaku for the group stage, ruled out for injury, I think that's going to be a big blow for them as well. But still, with Kevin De Bruyne, they've got someone who can unlock a defense with one pass. So, yeah, it's a toss-up really for that top spot. But I'm going to go the Croatians just from the Belgians, with Canada third and Morocco fourth in that group. Moving on to Group G, I think for me, Brazil topped this group for obvious reasons. Outstanding quality, no World Cup for 20 years. And I ironically, actually, the last time any South American nation did win the World Cup was back in 2002 when Brazil won it. So I think they're well overdue one. And I think now they've got a squad of players that is more than capable of going all the way. And they shouldn't have too many issues in this group, despite tough tests from Serbia and the Swiss. In terms of second and third, it's a bit of a toss-up here. I'm just going with the Serbians because I think they've got a great crop of forward players, the likes of Dusan Vlahovic, Aleksandar Mitrovic, Kostic at Juventus. They've got Dusan Tadic as well. And Milinkovic Savic, the really talented midfield player from Lazio. So, yeah, I've got Serbia just from the Swiss, although the Swiss have got good tournament pedigree. I just see them falling short. I just don't think they've got quite as much quality as Serbia do in the key areas. And unfortunately, Cameroon bringing up the rear. But they could provide a stiff test, though, in that group. But ultimately, I think a lack of quality is what's going to cost them there. And in terms of Group H, this is a tough one. It really is. But I think for me, I'm going to go Uruguay to top this group. A lot of people tipping Uruguay to go far in this tournament. I think they're a great side, real cohesive unit. I think they're more of a team than Portugal are. Yes, Portugal might have more talented players individually, but I think they're less of a team than Uruguay. But I still think the Portuguese will make it out of this group. I think they will come second to Uruguay. Ghana and Korea really is a toss-up for third and fourth, but I'm going to go just with the Black Stars, with Korea coming bottom. So moving into the last 16 then, providing it goes how I think it's going to go, and these things never do. Netherlands versus the USA, I would expect the Dutch to get through that one. I think they have too much quality for the US, so the Dutch progressing to the quarterfinals there. Argentina, Denmark's a big clash in the last 16. Two good teams. I think this will be very close. Could go to extra time, could be penalties, but I think ultimately the Argentinians will probably progress from that one. Germany against Belgium. That's another big clash. But I think, the Germans, just with the experience and just a touch more quality in the key areas, particularly defensively, they've got more quality than the Belgians. I think that could just make a difference in what I feel would be a tough game. So the Germans going through to the quarters there. Brazil versus Portugal is another massive clash. Ronaldo up against Neymar. But for me, I think I've just got the Brazilians going for it. Just think there's a bit more quality and they're more together as a team. So for me, I'm just going Brazil to get through that one. England versus Senegal. That's going to be tough as well. England, I think, just about get it. But again, it's going to be really tricky because Senegal are a tough side to face. They'll sit deep. They'll be hard to break down. It'll be difficult in the heat. I think the heat will suit the Senegalese more. But I think England should probably just about have enough to get through. So I'm going to go just England in this one, but it will be very, very close. France versus Poland, I think for the French are going to have too much for the Poles, and that one just too much quality. So we go the French through in that one for me. And then Croatia versus Spain that's an interesting one as well. To be honest, I know this might sound a bit silly to some people, but I'm going to go for the Croats to get through this one. I just think a bit more experience, a bit more know-how, and yeah, I'm going to go for the Croatians to get through that one. And then another big one, Uruguay versus Serbia. Two good sides, a lot of talent at the top end of the pitch, but I just think Uruguay's more quality over all areas of the pitch is going to just about see them through this one. Moving on to the quarterfinals then. The Dutch versus the Argentinians. That's a big quarterfinal. That's a real tough one. I think Holland will run them close. This might be unpopular, but I think the Dutch could actually beat the Argentinians. I just think the Dutch, that know-how in international football. They've got Van Gaal at the helm. The only thing that I think they might struggle with is the fact that, the goalkeeping position's not great and the centre-forward position, other than Memphis Depay, is not great either. But I've got the Dutch. I'm going to go with the Dutch just to make it through this one. So the Argentinians, for me, could be a shock early exit. Well, I say early exit, going out in the quarters. Germany versus Brazil in a repeat of that ridiculous, I think, 7-2 or 7-1 game back in Rio. The Brazilians will be looking for revenge, and I think they will get it. Just overall, I think a bit too much quality for the Germans at this point in time. So for me, Brazil through to a semi-final there. And the last one, last couple here, England versus France. I think this is where England, unfortunately, fall by the wayside. Every time we seem to play a decent team, we always we'll always end up coming up short. So I think the French just to nick this one for me. So France over England on that one. Croatia versus Uruguay. I've got the Uruguayans to just about beat the Croats here. Moving into the semi-finals then, we've got Brazil against the Netherlands. A real kind of throwback game, two teams that have been steeped in history, have done really well over the years. But I think the Brazilians, with the quality they've got, just about see off the Dutch in that one. So I go Brazil to beat the Netherlands. And then France versus Uruguay. Oh, this is a tough one. I mean, I know I can't see France making back-to-back finals. So I just think the Uruguay have just got that, they're streetwise. They've just got that bit about them. And I think they're a lot better than a lot of people have perhaps given them credit for. So I'm going to go Uruguay to get through to the final over the French. And then the final, I'm going with Brazil to finally end that 20-year wait. So a Brazil-Uruguay final for me. And just out of interest in the third place playoff, the Dutch against the French, I'll probably just give it to the French on that one to come third. So I'm predicting Brazil to beat Uruguay in the final there. And just to round out my predictions, I'm also going to give you a player of the tournament prediction and a golden boot winner prediction. My player of the tournament is going to be Neymar. I think this is going to be his tournament, his time to shine, his World Cup. I think this is the best Neymar we've seen ever. You know, he's in fantastic form for PSG, posting ridiculous numbers, playing some great football. And I think this is going to be his time. I think he's going to beat Pele's goal scoring record in this tournament. And we're going to see Neymar pick up the player of the tournament award. And given the fact I've tipped Uruguay to get quite far, I'm going to go with a slightly rogue shout for top scorer. I'm going to go with Darwin Núñez, the Liverpool forward, as top goal scorer in the World Cup. So yeah, guys, that's my World Cup predictions. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please do smash the likes on this video and subscribe to the channel. We're inching ever closer to that 2K mark. So it'll be great to get there before the World Cup starts or during the tournament. So please do smash the likes and subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch you again soon, guys, with more World Cup related content.